Hello, and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Sports. My name is Michael Rasile. This is the show where we get to talk about sports, we get to talk about business, and we get to talk about everything in between. However you're listening, you know what to do. Give me a 5-star review. I think on Spotify now, which is kind of cool. And this is actually like my second video podcast on Spotify, so it's pretty much just like me and Joe Rogan. So one of my dreams is coming true, right? But very excited to chat today. I have two incredible guests. We actually have our a returning guest. We don't do this too often, but I thought this would be a fun thing to do. We have Austin Cohen. He's the CEO of FlexIt, as well as Justin Turetsky. He is the COO of FlexIt. Austin, long time no see. How you doing, man?
Michael. It felt like it was a month ago, but I think we looked back at the records and it was end of Q3, Q4 2020 in a minute.
2020. Yeah, we're already into 2022. Granted, I don't know what happened to 2020 or 2021, but we're here, and that's the only thing that matters to me. Justin, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me join this time. I'm going to make it a lot better now that I'm on. It's not just Austin.
I appreciate that. I think the first time when Austin and I did it, he was in his apartment. I think we had to ask him to close a blind because the window light was coming through and it was messing with the camera. We've moved up in the world, so we appreciate each and every one of you for that. So thank you to everyone listening again. Please, if you're not, subscribe, like, review, blah, 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 blah. You know what to do. Gentlemen, Austin, you already know this, so maybe I'll shoot you first. We'll give Justin a second to think about his answer. The first question I have for everybody on the For the Love of Sports podcast is, Austin, why do you love sports so much? Is Austin frozen? That's pretty sweet. All right, Justin, why do you love sports so much? That was easy.
All right.
No time to think about your answer. Sorry, man.
Austin's answer is that he's stuck in his tracks there. But for me, Austin, you're going to have to take another stab at it. But for me, I mean, I love sports because it really creates a purpose for health and wellness. Competition is fun. I think it's something that's ingrained in us as human beings. So I've always enjoyed sports and the competition of sports, whether it's cheering people on and the camaraderie and team building that happens there. Between fans even, or competing where you have a reason to be in the best shape so you can compete and be your best in that sport or activity.
And we compete, as you said, it's sport and activity. We compete on a lot of things. Sports can teach us that from a very young age, which I think is pretty important. Austin, hopefully I got you now. We're good to go. Why do you love sports so much?
Little internet hiccup there. I would say it's two main reasons here for me. The first is you just never know what you're going to get, right? Any given Sunday. If we look at this past weekend, we'd be hard pressed to find a better weekend in the history of football. Every game coming down to a field goal except for the last game, although it kind of did. You just never know what you're going to expect. And when you don't, it has you on your toes and creates for the amazing camaraderie that Justin talked about. I think the second thing for me, and as it relates to some of the broader conversation we're going to have today, is the togetherness. So you have a team, you have affinity for that team, for the city that team's tied to, and people rally around that. And I think that that's really true of the fitness industry and wellness industry in a way that we don't see in other industries, which is one of the things that I love so much about where we're playing here at FlexIt. It's that everyone's got that shared purpose. Everyone's committed to helping people to live better, healthier lives. Everyone cares about working out. It's a part of their lives. I think that sports really does that, and on a different scale and in a different way. Right? It traverses any barriers, geography, preferences for various things, right? And you get caught up in that moment, like the end of each of the games that we saw this weekend, and that's special. You can't craft that. You don't really see that anywhere else in life. So for me, it's those two things. It's that any given Sunday mentality, and it's the camaraderie. It's that shared commitment, which we see so much in our small industry, our small world in fitness and wellness.
And it's interesting, right? The togetherness aspect. You know, we've had again, Austin. We connected in October of 2020, so we were only, we thought we would be done with the pandemic, but here we still are in 2022, dealing with its ramifications. And I remember when we spoke originally, I like to turn negatives into positives, and you guys were capable of doing that by taking this product, FlexIt, which I'll let you guys explain in a second, and then I will share my experience over last week when I got to use the product firsthand. The opportunity you guys had was absolutely gigantic, and I think that's extremely important, and you took advantage of it, right? Yeah, a lot of people would say, well, hey, let's see what happens. No, you guys went full force, and you really were able to take advantage of it. Now, we are now, I don't know, I honestly lost count of how many months, right? We're almost coming up on 2 years of this damn thing. Hopefully it ends soon. Don't think it will, fortunately, but here we are. One thing that I find really interesting is there were certain products that really took the pandemic by storm, i.e. Peloton. Peloton stock was at insane highs. And now from our friends over at Front Office Sports, essentially like every week I get an update on who's going to try and buy Peloton next. Now they're bringing in consultants. Now they're looking, is Disney going to buy Peloton? I don't know how that works, but Disney's got enough money to do it. Their stock price is, I don't know, insanely lower than it was in the heights of the pandemic. So really all I'm trying to say with that is, this product that had the whole world by storm, right? There was a few hiccups along the way, but that's nothing they can't get over, is now still looked at in a good light in the brand sense. But when you look at their financials and their product and everything they have going, it doesn't look that great anymore. And Justin, I'll throw it to you first before we go to Austin. What are you guys doing to avoid that? And what are you doing to make sure that we can stay together in this world where people want to be together again? Because we spent so much time at home. We spent working out at home. I tried to work out in my apartment. I did it. I didn't love it, but I did it. Like, how are you guys making sure that you're going to avoid this fate that Peloton is at least currently going through?
Right. And I want to add two other companies to your list of Peloton
Please.
acquirers, Nike and
Yeah.
Apple,
Yep.
because, the market cap of Peloton would be an inconsequential drop in the bucket for Apple. And I think they could probably activate a lot there. But I'll say very simply, really in two parts. The first part is one that we're not Peloton, right? We're not the same solution as Peloton. Some customers of ours access fitness from home, but our product and our service is meant to be your fitness and wellness accountability partner that's accessed through your phone, your tablet, or your computer, or a smart TV, and you can bring it anywhere with you. So the idea is that you have accountability wherever you go, not necessarily that you're working out at home. So obviously, no one's going to pack up, a spin bike and bring it with them on a trip, but you can bring your FlexIt trainer anywhere you go. So we're really this wherever, whenever solution. That's one of our trademarks, and it's been actually since pre-pandemic. It's been part of our mission, which is making fitness more accessible. I think the second thing is that with Peloton, that we're not Peloton, like I had said, and that they have different factors at play. So I don't think necessarily if the market is looking at a public company of their size, there's many other factors that played into how the market looks at them as a stock, including, them stockpiling inventory and then not having that appropriate demand. But for us, our customers aren't really going back and forth between FlexIt and the gym. We're typically acquiring customers who've never been to a gym or don't go to the gym at all. So the idea is bringing fitness to them to make it more seamless, more accessible, and more convenient.
Well, it was seamless, accessible, and convenient. Again, I'm excited to share my experiences along the way. So, Austin, I want to throw it to you. Thank you. I want to throw it to you. What are some of the things, again, we talked so long ago, it feels like so short, so long, whatever we want to call. What are some of the things that you guys have improved upon? What are some of the things that, back in October of 2020, you looked at as, oh, this is the new shiny toy. And now we're here in January, almost February of 2022. With all this time, what are some of the improvements? What are some of the evolutions that we've seen in FlexIt over this period of time?
On many fronts, right? As you alluded to, time's flown by. We've done everything we can every day to improve the product, improve the experience, give more to our existing customers, touch more customers. So obviously, we've gotten a lot more exposure over the last 15 months, which has been amazing. When we started this line of business, we created a new category. So if you think back 2 years ago, or slightly before 2 years ago, virtual personal training was not a concept. The category didn't exist. People didn't know what it was, right? We created that category, and we'd spent some time building that out when you and I have last spoken. Now people actually have an understanding of what virtual personal training is, of why it exists and why it didn't exist before, of how it fits in, how maybe it's different from a Peloton or any of the other pre-recorded live stream or similar types of equipment solutions that are out there. So we've gotten exposure. We've been able to educate people. We've also broadened the offerings. So we've built our own video technology that's optimized for two people who aren't physically in the same space to interact as if they are. And that technology is faster, clearer, has more features. Trainers can draw on the screen. They can project videos of perfectly performed exercises onto the screen, as well as many other bells and whistles. We've built out a higher tier of access, a lower entry point tier of access. On the low end, for $75 a month, we've got connected training, where customers can get off-day programming, so trainers can text them plans, and they can do one live virtual personal training session per month. And on the other side of the spectrum, we spent a lot of time building out FlexIt Pro, which is our celebrity and athlete trainer platform. So come to us to work out with the likes of J-Lo's trainer, Heidi Klum's trainer, 50 Cent's trainer, so on and so forth. So we've broadened the product, but we've gotten exposure now to the point where people really understand what the category is, what the industry that we've built out is. And so they're excited to use this. So the platform's better, it's heightened, it's more seamless, and it's something that makes a lot more sense to people as we push through COVID and we're coming out on the other side of it.
Coming out hopefully sooner rather than later. That's really interesting. You bring up the influencer, quote unquote, aspect of it. It's like, hey, do you want to train like 50 Cent? Do you want to train like Heidi Klum? These people are, gorgeous and beautiful, and we all look up to them in some way, shape, or form, right? So I'm kind of curious. I don't remember that from last time, so I'm curious when that was implemented and what are some of the successes you've seen versus. I don't want to, belittle anybody, but, just, the average Joe trainer saying, hey, guys, I would love to utilize your platform. Like, how have you seen both of those? I feel like they'd almost be separate categories, correct?
Just, why don't you take that one?
Yeah, sure. So we rolled out FlexIt Pro last year. And I think first and foremost, we want to bring all the trainers that are already in our network into our network in official capacity, right? Taking a role being a FlexIt Pro trainer, right? So we're not moving the same amount of FlexIt Pro packages that we would for kind of standard packages and programs. But those trainers work with us on some program design, in-person activations, general, strategy and implementation of different features. So, our network really shows outside of FlexIt that we're serious about training and have some of the leading fitness talent in the industry. And internally, I think they add a tremendous amount of value, insights, and expertise in fitness. And yeah, it's cool. We got some great press on it. We've done some press and other media events working with our FlexIt Pro trainers. So it's something that's been pretty exclusive, and it's not really a mass market product, but it's something that we've rolled out and allowed some consumers who come off of our wait list to be able to access. And we've been running that kind of on the side in addition to our core sale packages and programs of FlexIt virtual personal training. And like Austin said, we have that lower cost tier. It's more affordable and less scheduled. It's called connected training, so that a trainer can design a workout program that you can take with you. You just have one check-in, video conferencing call on our platform per month.
Yeah, and I want to touch on the video aspect of it. So I'll kind of go into my experience with the product. I think this was last Thursday. Honestly, days are just starting to ride together at this point with work and everything, but that's why we do it, man. That's why we do it. So I had a lot of fun. Chris was my trainer. He was absolutely fantastic. I got an email prior that was just like, hey, man, like, what are some of the things you do? What do you like? What don't you like? What are your capabilities? It was going to have this in my apartment. My apartment is extremely small, to say to put it lightly. So like, okay, do you have the space to do it? What kind of weights do you have? Are you going to the gym? No, I'm going to do it at home, do it during the workday. Don't tell my bosses, and hopefully we'll kind of skate on by. And he was, that first email made me feel really comfortable. So he totally kind of understood where I was coming from. Hand up, don't go to the gym. I do my push-ups, I do my planks every day. I like to stretch. I go on nice walks. It's kind of the extent of my activity, which I think is more than most people, but I know I could get a little bit better. So it was awesome to have him come in and just say, like, he understood that. He didn't say like, oh, go get your weights. Hey, we're going to do, 100,000, bench presses. He worked around what I already do and just kind of tried to help me be better at all of those. He, as you said, he has the capabilities of writing on the screen. He had the capability of showing me everything. The video platform was seamless. It was absolutely fantastic. He had the timers on the screen, which was great. So I knew it was only 30 seconds. All right, I could do that. And I could see the timer going down on the screen, which was nice. And he could just correct any of the things that I was doing wrong, which was great. So really do want to shout out him, the pre-session, during the session, and then afterwards. He followed up. I had a couple quick questions. He was able to answer them extremely fast, which I do appreciate that. And Austin, he actually had a pretty funny story about how the first session he ever did ended up being with you, but he had no idea who the heck you were. So I guess I'm kind of curious, is that a normal process that you guys go through? You make these trainers work with the CEO of the company before anybody else? Or was that just a one-time thing that just kind of happened that way?
Well, if we told you, then it'd be out there, right?
Oh, true. You're right. Oh, man. I thought I was going to get a fun story. Oh, could you tell us the story of
I'll tell you
the
other side of that story. And Chris Pavone is an absolute star and just an incredible human. So I'm glad you got the chance to meet him and spend time, and hopefully you continue working out with him. But I actually was not able to make my first session personally, and had to push. And so Chris and I got lucky that that ended up being our first session together. So we've actually shared a laugh over that before. But I regularly train with Chris and with other trainers in the platform. Justin, we have about 500 trainers in the platform, so it's tough. But Justin's done what he can to try to train with every single trainer on the platform. And he doesn't break routine. He hits it every morning. I don't hit it every morning, but I do my best to come close. As you were alluding to, Chris adapted to what you had, what your goals were. And our whole thing, and I say this, it's corny, pun intended, but everyone's body is different. And so their goals and what's going to work for them is going to be different. And so, we have great strength trainers like Chris. We cover everything from strength to HIIT yoga, meditation, stretching, recovery, virtual physical therapy, nutrition. We've got dietitians and nutritionists on the platform. So really, we're trying to span that whole spectrum and give people a live one-on-one experience where two people who are not physically in the same room can get that experience as if they were through our tech and help them to meet whatever their goals are. Because again, everybody's goals are different. And the analogy that I like to use here is what we see in other verticals and parts of life, because everyone should have a coach. Everyone should have a trainer. And historically, it's been something that's not accessible from a price perspective, from a time perspective. There's friction in the process, going to gym. You have to make the trip there. You have to have a membership to the gym to get in. Most people can't have a trainer come to their home. So we're trying to democratize and bring all that down. And the analogy is that, but we have mentors. You've probably got a business mentor. Maybe you have someone who helps you, as an expert with podcasts and other such things. We have teachers in education. People see therapists. And so here in the fitness category, the same should be true. There's no reason why everybody shouldn't have the ability to access a trainer across whatever modality they're looking to get fit in. So Chris is an incredible guy. I share a special bond with him. I'm glad you and him had a great experience together. But we've got many incredible trainers across all disciplines, and we really are pioneering the concept that everyone should have a coach, and that shouldn't just be the case in other verticals. It should be the case in wellness and fitness as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you should have a coach in pretty much anything that you do, right? Or at least have some sort of mentor. And I do shout out Rob Cressy, who's literally taught me everything I know about, being a host and podcasting and asking questions and interviewing. And I think I've done pretty good. So, great shout out to him. I appreciate him for that. I'm kind of
we're Rob fans here too.
Yeah.
I did Rob's a while back.
Nice.
I think pretty close to when you and I synced up.
That makes sense. Yeah, Rob's an awesome dude. So shout out to him on multiple fronts for that. I'm kind of curious. So you said that you had that laundry list, let's call it, of all these things that you can have from this platform, right? I heard dietitian. That word sparks in my brain because I know I have friends who are dietitians or of some sort. I don't really understand how all that stuff works, to be totally honest with you, but they are a dietitian of some sort. So now I'm kind of curious, right? The consumer end of it is you can come here and you can get a coach for all of these things. Something that you probably need, as you said, whenever, wherever, however that works is fantastic. I'm curious about the other side now. How does a trainer sign up to the platform? I don't know if you guys have a list or of a waiting list, or how do more dietitians come into the flow? Because I'm sure people are, people change, things change, they come in, they leave, all that stuff happens. You guys are growing, right? So how does that aspect of it work? Because I can already think of friends that say, hey, like you could be a dietitian over here on this platform and work with people on a daily basis and really start to connect with them, but in this virtual environment that allows you to stay where you are and them to stay where they are. So I don't know if either of you, have a good answer to that, but I'm kind of curious on the work side of it rather than the consumer side.
Yeah, I can take that one. So our trainers really come from two main channels. One of them from the partner brands we work with. So we have some boutique studios and gym chains that we partner with. Which, from relationships that FlexIt's had in the industry for a very long time. And then we also have direct relationships with trainers and other wellness professionals. So if there's any interest in joining the FlexIt team, it's pretty simple. You can either submit a form on our website, or you can send us an email at careers@flexit.fit and just send us your resume, what you're looking to do. And you can go through a screening and interview process to potentially take on a role with the company. So if there's those that are interested, it's not an open marketplace. It's highly curated, but for really talented people, there's always a place.
I like the sound of that. For really talented people. That is so true, right? That is so true. There's always a job. If you find the right person, the job can be
always
there. And I'm kind of curious, like what has that done for you guys, right? You said there's over 500, if I'm not mistaken, of these professionals that are on the platform. Like, how have you seen the company not just grow in numbers, but also in culture and in this, again, this virtual environment? How have you seen bringing in these new ideas, this new talent, help those around and just kind of amplify more than, what is it? The whole is bigger than the sum of the parts, right? Like, how have you seen that type of thing happen along the way?
Jess, you want to?
Oh, sure. I don't want to go back to back and be a
You're good, man.
but I got this one too. Sure. So FlexIt trainers have and wellness professionals, they have a huge impact on the client experience, right? What you have when you come in. But they have varying levels of involvement with the company, where there's some trainers that are pretty much full-time, all hours a day training, and some of our top trainers. And there's some that are much less, involved, maybe on a more part-time basis. So overall, I mean, it impacts the culture, but really the FlexIt corporate team, marketing team, technology team, kind of the real day-to-day of kind of operating the company. And then really our fitness talent is what makes our product so great. So some of them do know each other. Some of them have other responsibilities at FlexIt. But for the most part, we've continued to scale up trainers kind of with demand, and the experience that they're having is typically going in through a fairly operationalized process and training and onboarding. We also have a partnership with one of the largest certification organizations where trainers can get certified in virtual training. So it's something that we're helping to spearhead to make sure that the best practices of virtual personal training are really out there, and that we're leading the way in some of that thought leadership, because it's really an area that we've helped to pioneer.
Yeah, I think that's all. Again, you guys essentially created the industry. I don't know, the vertical within this industry, right? Like, you might as well, make sure that the people, your trainers work what they're going. What do you got, Austin?
No, I just wanted to say that for trainers, I just want to highlight how important it's been that they can deliver the service they love to deliver in a way that's never enabled them to do so in a manner that they can now. They can be at home, they can be on the road, they don't have to physically be in the gym to do this. They can still do what they love. Because that just opens the door up to so much more. One of the things that we're actively working on now, and more to come on this soon, is how we can help trainers to become their best selves through a virtual training experience, a presence virtually. Let's talk about meetings. Like analogies, right? Some people on a virtual meeting software, whether it's here today, if it's on Zoom, if it's on Meet, Microsoft Teams, have a different presence than they physically have if you were to sit in a conference room with them. And the same thing goes for training. So we got a lot in the works coming up around the corner soon. We're really excited, beginning of February, for ways that we're going to be helping trainers to be their best selves virtually, because being a virtual trainer is different than being an in-person trainer, and what you need to do to deliver the best-in-class experience is going to be different than it is in person. Just want to highlight that on the supply side, on the trainer side for us, that's a whole business up in and of itself, and it's a very important part to what we're doing here.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is so true, right? Like, I like to think I've gotten pretty good at this virtual thing. Like, you guys are getting me, whether we're sitting at a table or not. I think there'd just be a little less latency in that video, which is always fun, right? And gratefully, your technology was fantastic, so nothing to worry about there. But I think to your first point, that was one of the things. After my training session with Chris, he's like, okay, I usually leave like 90 seconds here so you can ask any questions. And I was just like, what do you like about this? Like, this is a unique product, right? And he's like, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he said he gets to work out with his friends and make people better on a daily basis, and kind of shoot the shit and just have a good time and talk to them. And that opportunity was essentially created by your guys' vision and what you guys were able to come up with, and that allows him now to live wherever he wants, essentially, in the world. As long as he can wake up in time and go to sleep on time, it does not matter. He can sit there with people that he wants to spend time with and help them along the way, doing what he loves from where it's most convenient to him, which I think is great.
One of the things that we're really proud about is that we've got trainers on 6 continents now, which definitely was not the case when you and I last spoke. So
I don't remember
call
that.
it time zone efficiencies here. That's our thing. We're delivering training sessions 24 hours a day. Doesn't matter where the trainer is and where you are, no matter what time zone you're in, you're going to be able to get it in.
I like that. And I'm kind of curious, another another piece of this, right? As you said, you're growing your list of, it's not just trainers now. There's multiple wellness professionals. How does the cross selling aspect of that work, right? Because if I eat like shit but I work out all the time, who the hell cares? If I eat really great but I don't, ever do anything with my body, it's still probably not that great. So how do you guys get in, maybe on the marketing side, maybe a little bit of the secret sauce on how you're making sure everybody's understanding that this your body is a temple, right? I've heard that many times. Just because you do one thing doesn't mean you should ignore the 3 or 4 or 5 other things that you should be doing along the way.
That's usually what Justin says when I try to push him to go get steaks.
What?
But
Steak's not bad for you. Don't tell me that, man.
It's the size, Michael.
Oh, okay. I get that. The potatoes with all that butter is probably not the best. But
the mac and cheese.
The adage goes, it's not just what you do in the gym, it's what you do in the kitchen, right? And that's really true. We were very excited this year in Q4 to launch FlexIt Nutrition. We're pairing now training sessions with nutrition services. That means a few things. So you might work out a couple times a week with your trainer and then work out with your nutritionist 1 or 2 times a week. So maybe you're strength training twice a week. You got the nutritionist once or twice a week. But it also includes other ancillary services that you as a FlexIt customer have access to. So what started happening was our customers were looking for meal plans and the right things to be eating and what whey protein they should take and where they should get their power bars. So now all through your FlexIt ecosystem inside your account, you can get that whey, you can get those power bars, you can get your minerals, everything you need. So one of the things, again, back to other verticals that we see is that there's so much optionality, there's so much content. So let's talk about messaging, right? Right now, we're here live. We've been on here for 26 minutes, 22 seconds. And you probably have a ton of direct messages and Slacks and emails and missed calls and texts, right? I don't mean to cause you any stress here, but I see you peeking down. And it's the same for fitness. People are having to balance between so many different media. It's their text, Venmo, emails, their calendar. We put everything in one place. So it's a self-contained ecosystem. I come from a prior life of working in private jets. And when we founded the private jet business that we did, we were a closed fleet. And that's what we've done here is everything is contained. So you can get your nutrition and you can pair it with your fitness and you can get the protein you need, because what we're doing is selling results. That's our service, which is looking and feeling better. And so to your point before, it's not just what you do, it's in the gym, it's what you do in the kitchen as well. So we've integrated those ecosystems, those 2 components in the ecosystem, and we're marketing them collectively.
But isn't it about the process, not the results? I'm sorry, Justin.
No, it's about both the process and the results. But what I'm going to say is that to also answer your part of the question about how customers know, how to get started, right? You can come in and you can do a fitness consultation. So we have an in-house team, we call them performance coaches, that can help onboard you to help understand what your goals are. This is a standard part of onboarding for personal training, but we can also identify and do a needs analysis for that client, and then be able to align them with the fitness or wellness professional that aligns with their goals. Because some people might say, hey, I'm not really looking for fitness. I just want to work with an RD and do meal planning and logging and do it on the platform. We have that. A lot of times people come in, they'll start with one virtual personal training just to get moving, right? Just getting started. You don't want to come in and say, I need every professional out there. You want to start with just some movement, some commitment to exercise. And then from there, your trainer can help guide you, either give you different tools to be able to plan and track your own eating and your food habits, or connect you with one of the RDs on FlexIt. And then in that same account, you can get access to that RD or that yoga professional or that meditation or stretching if you're dealing with some stress management issues. So really whatever holistically is your need as a person, which I think everybody is all of those things, can help to prioritize those and build structure around it so you hold yourself accountable. And that's how we do some of the cross-selling internally. But it's really a lot of times the customers come asking for it because they say, okay, I feel pretty good about the workouts. How do I really start to make a change in my body? And it's like, well, after you do workout, the first thing you want to do is go eat unhealthy food, starting to make changes in overall behavior. And people who make major behavioral changes tend to see the most results. And it starts with making a commitment and just showing up, right? And then from there, we build it out and work on programs with clients. And we have the most customized fitness company out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome, how you guys have been able to grow this thing again, Austin getting to speak with you, 15, 16 months ago, whatever it was, to now where you're at. Most of this stuff was not, I'm sure it was in the works, but it was not something we spoke about. I think you and I really just spoke about how you started this whole thing and how it's been going for the first, a short period of time. And now what the capabilities you guys seem to have been able to create, it just seems incredible for obviously the people that you employ, which I think is extremely important, but also the people that are capable of using the app. Because again, it's something that you can get all this stuff in one spot if that's something that you care about. Now, I am kind of curious. I think it's interesting that we're having this conversation in January, right? What is January 1st? Well, it's New Year's resolution day. Everyone, what's their New Year's resolution? Eat healthier, start working out. And those are two things that you guys can help everybody with. I'm curious, like, how many more people did you see sign up in that first like week of New Year's? How have you seen that retention happen? Because that's the easiest thing in the world, is to stop going to the gym, right? Well, you're not kind of going to the gym anymore. Now you're making a friend with a trainer and working with them on a weekly basis or whatever it is. What have you guys seen in terms of that in just this month alone, which is probably one of the biggest ups and downs that we're going to see all year?
So a couple quick stats, but in the first 6 days of this month, we did more revenue than December of the year before that.
Sounds
in the
about right.
first 2/3 of this month, we did more than we did last year. So January has proven to be everything that we had hoped and expected it would be. It's surpassed our expectations. One of the things I think that's lent to us being able to do that, as opposed to something like Peloton, which we dug into a little bit, and what's going on there, is that we're really pioneering the concept of virtual. Doesn't mean attached to your living room or your home, right? If you've got a piece of connected hardware that's in your living room, when you leave your living room, you can't use that service. You don't need anything but Wi-Fi or cellular for us. We're not an at-home fitness company. You can use us at home. We are a wherever, whenever, pure connectivity organization that's to be used in conjunction with other things, experiences at other places. So January's been everything that we had expected it to be, and we're looking forward to the next 2 months. We only hope that people embrace intentions over resolutions, and that people continue to adopt consistency and routine. It doesn't need to be the case that we start to get fit when it hits January 1, but we can prioritize our fitness all year round. And that's, from our view, the best and healthiest way to get the fitness in.
100% agree. Kudos and congratulations on those January numbers. That is absolutely fantastic. Happy to hear that. Hopefully that keeps going. So we kind of spoke about it a little bit, Austin, on some of the new things that are coming out. And it was more on the trainer side. I guess I'm kind of curious, is there anything coming out on the consumer side that we can get people excited about over the next few months? Anything that's in the works that we can talk about?
There is. We're really excited to be pushing a concept called Heightened Immersion. What we've done, and we talked about this a little bit, is we've helped two people who aren't physically in the same space to feel like they are. And we're going to be amplifying that, right? So for dramatic effect here, right, I feel a little more immersive right now than I did when I was standing a few feet back. We're working on that, bringing that to larger formats, helping people to really feel like the barriers, the physical space between them and their trainer when they're using the service are broken down even further through a bunch of new features and tech sets that we're bringing out in Q2 and Q3.
I love it. I mean, yeah, you guys are a tech company that just happens to work in the anywhere, wherever, whenever, wherever fitness and wellness space. So it's kind of cool to see how some of that stuff. Justin, you have anything you want to tell us about? I heard you got a Slack message, so hope they're not nothing too bad going on over there. But anything else? Was that you? Was that Austin? It's not me. My Slack's turned off.
Well, I wanted to add also that the enhancements to the in-session experience, including what Austin had mentioned, but also other features that we're continually adding and building out and just improving and optimizing the app and making the experience more smooth, easier to, alter your account, find new trainers. So I think we have this idea of continuous improvement here, and we're always trying to make our app better and make sure to download that recent update that just came out that was pretty impactful for the app, but also wanting you to have ease of accessibility through multiple platforms. So another thing we're pretty excited about is just having access to different displays and alternative versions to be able to access FlexIt across different devices that maybe you couldn't have previously. So I think for us, customers look out for better experiences, new features, enhanced video content. I mean, more and more and more that we're going to keep enhancing the experience to make sure our customers have something new and fresh and great fitness talent to be able to work with on the platform.
I love it. Gentlemen, this has been absolutely fantastic. Where can we find more information about FlexIt? Where can, the trainers go? I think we already said careers at, if I'm not mistaken, for the email address. Where can consumers go to find out more about the product and, get people rocking a little bit more?
FlexIt.fit, FLEXIT.FIT, and email us. We're very responsive at info at FlexIt, FLEXIT.FIT, info@flexit.fit.
Love it. Awesome. Well, Austin, Justin, sincerely appreciate the two of you. We have the CEO and the COO of FlexIt here with me. Gentlemen, this has been fantastic. Thank you for your time, as well as everybody listening. It's the only thing we don't get more of, so I appreciate you giving me some of yours. But other than that, gentlemen, hope you have a good day, and I hope February is a better month than January. How's that sound?
Appreciate that. It's good to be back, Michael.
Yes. Let's do it again. In 2 years.
We're ready for the hat trick.
I can't wait. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.